Hi guys, and yes, it is indeed time for this amazing show, amazing podcast that has been brought to you by Honey and Banana. Yes, it is the Love Lounge with Honey and Banana. Moya Baby here, still being your fantastic host. Absolutely love today's topic. You know how they always say, when you put your hand in the cookie jar, then you feel a little bit guilty. Yes, we're discussing guilty pleasures. Those things that, you sort of maybe kind of feel like, oh, you shouldn't be doing, but you just do because you like it. And the perfect guest is here with me today. Yes, big welcome, Marie. Thank you. I have seen you in a couple of movies, I think. You're an actress, right?
Yes, I
am. So what do you want to say?
Your name. I always like.
You say Moet.
Yes.
It's Moet.
Moet.
Yes, Moet, darling. Oh. The T is silent. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
You look like somebody that partakes in a couple of guilty pleasures.
Just a few. Sometimes I usually think that I'm very vanilla.
When it comes to the sex.
But when you're in the mood and you're doing certain things, like, okay.
Then all of a sudden Pandora's box is open and you're like, let's go for it. So what is that one guilty pleasure that it's a safe space that you can...
Yeah. The safe space was going to be broadcast out there. But anyway. Okay. Let me just mention one. I remember when I was still young. And my then boyfriend were like, okay, we've not done all these kind of adventurous things before, so let's do something. And I remember when we did. I mean, it's maybe to today's standards, it's not as adventurous, but back then it was like, okay, so we did it in the car.
Oh, car sex!
When you're in the car and you turn on the AC and everywhere's fogged up. Do you know what
that reminds me of? Titanic. When they were having sex, the guy, you gotta go, bam, just your hand.
Hand free.
I was like, oh, okay. Must be steamy in there. I feel you. Yes, definitely had a few car sex guilty pleasures there. There's also that whole idea of even having, especially even with car sex, is that whole idea of having sex in public.
Yes.
You hear of people, having sex in cinemas,
elevators, car parks. I even heard of one guy I was just mentioning now before we started the show. Like, he saw someone having a third Milan bridge.
I don't even see
Isn't that crazy?
How?
Well,
like, aren't you even afraid? Like, you're on the express. Aren't you afraid as you're about to come, you don't see one car, wow, jam into
you, especially all those trucks now. You know how crazy they can be. But he told me the time, so it was probably a safe period, like and he said it was during Christmas period. So it was really. But
people are on the streets that December. How did he see it?
People would have
that means he was on the road. So if he saw it, other people most likely saw it. But I feel like there's that whole idea of, did they see? Did they not see?
Yeah,
and am I gonna get caught? Am I not gonna get caught?
That's where that whole adventure thing comes
and that
in.
Guilty pleasure comes in.
Like I was saying, they would have probably had a discussion like, oh, I really want to do this. But sometimes it could also be that, they're in like this mood that they just want to try something different and then there they go.
And even with guilty pleasure, sometimes, yes, definitely, I feel like, with your partner or someone that you're having, that you're indeed actually very seriously intimate with, you should communicate if these are your guilty pleasures. But the problem with communicating it sometihas is that you feel that,
should I really say this?
Will this change the dynamics? Exactly. So has that sort of thing happened to you?
In my initial stages of the relationship, we didn't have that kind of conversation because, it's still kind of new. I didn't want him to see me in a different light there. It took a while, Sha. We had lots and lots of discussions to even get to the part where you are comfortable doing certain things with them. So like you said, conversation. Yes. Telling them your likes, what you like, what you do like, and then having boundaries sometimes as well. So yeah. All
right. Even with BDSM, that's also an interesting guilty pleasure.
I hear with BDSM you have to have like a code word or something.
Yes, a safe word.
Safe word.
Yes, and that always, especially when you go towards the
extra kinky.
yeah, the SM. Yeah, when you see them when if you see anybody with whip, you better have a safe word. Don't enter that situation blindfolded. I'm like,
oh my God.
Before you do it, you have to talk about I beg.
Talking about BDSM, I'm sorry, but you know all this like this dominatrix and how they have their whip and everything. Like these people, they pain someone.
I feel like most times in situations like that, you'll find out that maybe that man is probably in a position of major power. It tends to be the case, or under a lot of pressure. Maybe just in his life, he's a major provider, and he just wants to feel like
someone said submissive.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You have men wearing diapers. Have you seen?
Oh my God, there are some movies that I see and I go like.
Some people, that's just what they want. They just want to
and then like a collar.
Yes, they just want to be an adult baby, which is interesting.
Very interesting.
So, do you think you could be a dominatrix, though?
I kind of doubt it. I'm too soft.
But could you be a submissive? Because okay.
Well, like you said, there has to be like safe words. They don't take things too far.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
So, the thing about these guilty pleasures, in order for you to sort of strengthen the bond and, actually get into that comfortable space where, yes, safe words can be exchanged and whatnot. Boundaries are established. There is always that need to, as I said, communicate about these guilty pleasures. But, sometimes there tends to be that fear.
Yeah.
Shame. And just like it says, guilty pleasures, you somewhat way feel a little bit guilty. So you may not want to share. Or even situations where you feel like, I've met this guy and I feel like I can tell him this. Everything. I feel like he won't judge me. And then maybe prior to the conversation, the guy says, girls that do this, I don't like them. You're just like,
oh my God. Actually,
guess I'm just going to keep that to myself. Yeah. So what's your take on that? Do you personally believe that, a lot of communication should occur?
I think so, because, you're with your partner. I'm sure your partner too has his own or her own guilty pleasure.
Real talk.
So if you don't communicate about it, you won't know what he likes or she likes. And then it's just like as if you're just in limbo when it comes to having intimacy. And then to me, I feel that would not make it like very vanilla.
Yes.
Although there are some people that like that,
But I actually agree with you. I feel like if you sort of have this guilty pleasure and then you feel like you can't communicate, but you're still having sex, the sex will eventually become vanilla sex. I don't really think anybody likes vanilla sex.
There are some people that do. Maybe they are not into the kinky stuff.
So that's their guilty pleasure?
Like I said. Okay,
having vanilla sex is my guilty
pleasure. Imagine now, like back in secondary school, they tell you, okay, probably in biology, they just tell you about the female parts,
anatomy,
and the male, and then your parents tell you, probably in America, let's take America for example. Now they have sex ed, where they discuss this and that, teach them about contraceptives and all that. But in Nigeria homes here, your mom and your daddy like, don't have sex. Even if you remove pants now, you get pregnant.
You don't want to remove pants. Why would they touch you? if they touch you,
or if they see your pants. So, like, all those kind of things be in your head, and you wouldn't now be comfortable to explore. So that will now make you be in this kind of mentality that, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. You get, thereby making you probably have vanilla intimacy.
True.
That's what I think.
Okay.
So, but when you discuss, even movies help. So all these romance movies or kinky movies, or even watching certain,
like
porn,
50 Shades of Grey, and then porn too.
Yeah, that will now like open. Like, oh, there are varieties of stuff. I would like to try this. I would like to try that. And then that will now help you. So, and then you now communicate that, or even if you even do watch such things with your partner.
I was about to say, like, watching porn is maybe a way that, maybe you see something and you're like, see how she did that, and then He's like, you know what,
Let's
I
try
actually
that,
like
you know?
it.
Like,
You know?
there's
Like, that's
this,
actually my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
True.
There's this video I saw on Instagram, and this babe, she dressed up like she was like a policewoman. But
She was role playing.
Yeah. You know? And then the husband came out like, oh my
He was
god.
like, I have sinned.
Yeah.
I am a criminal. Take me away. Yeah. And you know, and I'm guessing maybe that must have probably been the first time that they ever tried that, and he absolutely clearly loved it.
But
So-
this is something that, you know, you talk to your partner. I would like this, but maybe she will not tell you, oh, I want to do it, but she'll he or she will probably have it in mind. Okay, one day. Okay. So yeah, communication definitely opens up all
those doors. All right. When we because you touched on role play is also a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Now this may just be a bit random. Have you ever had any role? Have you ever done role play?
I haven't. Oh, wait. There was one time. This is not role play, shall.
So what is it?
Handcuffs were involved.
Okay, so that's been the BDSM.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and to be honest, I feel like role play too is very broad. You know, you can do a bit of role play where you're just pretending to be someone else, like I don't know, a teacher or I don't know, something like, and you don't necessarily have to like full on like dress up. I know of a couple that literally they just maybe go to a hotel and they act like they don't know each other. And it's like, oh, hello, gorgeous. My name, I'm this. Like they change their name, their everything, like they're actually acting, and then they have sex. You know, and it is their thing, and it's something that they partake in. And these people, they've been together for years.
For years. That's like you said, healthy relationships. When you communicate such, I think it also helps build longer relationships as well. Because after you've had such communication and you know this person knows what I like, it will be difficult to be like, let me get somebody else. Or even if there's problems in the relationship, but that thought would be like, well, this girl or this guy, he knows me, my in and out and everything. It's gonna be hard. You get? So yeah. Yes,
I definitely do agree that it does increase the bond, and it does make the relationship a lot healthier as well. Now, with guilty pleasures, most times, what tends to happen is that some people will say that they it just happened by chance, you know, just tried it and realized that I like it, you know. Some people, do communicate with their partners. But what about the situation where you do make this communication?
No.
Or this mistake somewhat way happens that you like, and then you communicate and your partner doesn't understand that guilty pleasure. It's like, oh, I want to be peed on, and your partner's like, why? You know?
Okay.
What about has that ever happened to you? And what about?
No, it hasn't really.
Okay, but let's just say hypothetically it did. What do you think would be? How would you solve that situation?
Navigate that.
How would you navigate that exactly?
Well, that's a tough one. I would like because like you said, there has to be communication, but then when this person likes this and the other person doesn't like it, it's kind of. But then I think that's where you now come to like a compromise between the two of you. Maybe a little bit of this with a touch of this. Mix it up a bit. It doesn't have to.
Maybe we don't have to go the whole way.
Yeah. Okay,
maybe you don't have to. You can pee with me on the shower.
Yeah, at least water will wash it down, or maybe a substitute. Maybe it doesn't have to be like pee. Maybe it could be something else. It's kind of dicey, but I think that whole compromise.
That's the best way to handle it. All right. Okay. Yes, you're right. Religion also somewhat can in a sense actually play a role in hindering some people's guilty pleasures. Maybe like I did say, maybe sometimes you sort of realize you like this thing by mistake, or you really you've always liked it, it's just your thing, you know, but maybe you try it once and you never try it again, because there's that, as I said, it is pleasure, but there's that guilt. And with religion, there's always that fight of, are you doing good or are you doing bad? Like, what you're doing is bad. Is this of the devil? And then that whole guilt, and then you end up not fulfilling these guilty pleasures that you do have. Wow. What's your take on that?
Okay, I'm a Christian, but sometimes when I do certain intimate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, I do feel a bit guilty, like God will not like this. But there's sometimes where you probably, now this is where I think having a partner, like a partner that you know you're going to go further with is important now, because okay, we've talked about our future, we've done everything, and we're probably going to get married, so then you can now say, okay, I can do these things with him or her. But if it's someone that is just like a casual,
like a fling,
yeah, that's a bit more difficult, because if you're a Christian or a Muslim and you go to church and then the pastor will start preaching, oh, this and this and this, anal this, that one, I'm like, I just did it. That will make you repress that. And it's
when you now meet your partner that you are spending life with, it'll be difficult to bring that out.
So I feel it's important to actually be with someone that you're going to go the whole way with, So the whole religion thing, I've seen videos where they were like, Mommy Geos and Daddy, like, don't do this or this sexual. Even back then, when you go to church, they'll tell you, children of God, you're not supposed to have sex before you get married.
Yes,
there's that one.
They still do that. They're still preaching that.
So, but it's like a 50-50 thing to me. You have to be with someone that you're going the whole way with. So you won't feel too much of guilt.
Yes.
When you're doing it with just I would say a random person,
but just a fling, maybe.
Yeah, that guilt is gonna be there.
And it's just also that whole idea of like, you're doing it with a fling who you're probably just gonna hook up with once. So gonna be like, wonder what that guy thinks of me. Maybe that's why that guy didn't call back. Or so I feel like that's also a thing as well. Make sure that you sort of partake in these guilty pleasures with someone that you totally fully trust, and you do believe that you guys have a solid relationship. There's this whole thing now, even speaking about religion as well, like whenever I think of religious settings, there's always that idea of like smell and candles and or whatnot. Like a lot of people, especially with the whole BDSM, they bring in a lot of candle wax and heat,
I never really got
and
that
ice and sweet things. Like there's some people that have sex with food, like honey, but actual like food. Like haven't you even seen those like sushi, like those sushi things? Like you have the lady just laying on the sushi bar and then you cover her with like sushi and then
no, I haven't seen that one, but I know about strawberries and chocolate.
Yes, definitely that. So like so you have that type of sweet, and you actually have like full-on food. Like so people associate food with also some guilty pleasures, just like how people whenever you feel like, whenever you go through like a heartbreak, sometimes you just want to just eat
ice cream.
So people sort of like link that to with sex and intimacy. So what's your take on that? Do you think you could have that sort of guilty pleasure?
Me,
like your favorite food. Do you think you would like to have sex with your favorite food in the vicinity?
But the whole ice thing.
Okay, you like ice.
Because ice can be tingling.
So you like it cold? I you like it hot.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know how people do with the candle wax though. I feel like it burns.
And then I think it's just still that pain thing.
Yeah. Okay. Like some people are into the whole pain thing. It's their kink. But I wouldn't mind the whole ice. Rubbing ice.
A little bit ticklish. I get you.
Or maybe honey.
Yes, honey definitely can be a thing too.
Yeah.
Yes, shout out to Honey and Banana.
Honey.
Bananas. There's people that like banana too. I can be that.
I don't know how you incorporate bananas into that.
Well,
they'll find a way.
They'll find a way. So with these guilty pleasures, there's this general idea that once you hear someone's guilty pleasure, there's this need to be like, maybe not to you, or maybe in my own situation, but I feel like it tends to come from men most times. They experience, maybe a girl does trust them enough to share what her guilty pleasure is, and then the next thing he's told his friends,
or maybe they even have, or they've done it, and then that is where the whole guy talk you know, this is my babe. She's crazy.
She does this, that's how she did this to me. And she did that.
Sometimes, I mean, if she finds out about it,
then that's an issue.
Yeah.
So he can talk so long as he doesn't find out about it.
But it depends somehow. How will I put this? If she does find out about it and the guy is like, this, I heard that you like this, so man, that's really impressive, or that kind of thing. That will probably, she'll be upset though. But okay, maybe I'm doing something good and my guy likes it and he's bragging about it. And then there's this situation where I heard you do this. Oh my god, that's nasty.
You are that type of
girl. That one. When you get home.
Yes. So that's so for you it's okay as long as the person coming back to give you the gist.
You know, it's more or less like a compliment.
It's complimenting, not necessarily.
I mean, it's not good though. It's not good to be like talking about
because I just feel like if this is my guilty pleasure, I would expect you to
keep it private. It's just between the two of us.
But I do know that I think that's just life in general. You know, we do have people that we share. Some things that we really shouldn't be sharing with, but we just do.
You know, like how girls, they have like a best friend and they talk about so many things, kind of like that. But then if the guy is an absolute para that just tells them his random friends,
like a proper kiss and tell guy, especially with like a guy that you had a fling with, like
that one is even worse. You're not in a relationship.
Like,
you just no, bye. Adios.
I feel like even with this, we can even just go into just like slut shaming as well. Just
that's actually kind of within the realm of it, because you're telling someone, that person you even told might not even be the one to tell you. That person might tell another person
who tells another person,
and then to now come back
before
to
you know it, you've got like,
oh my god, that kind of
knowing your guilty
especially
pleasure.
when you're now judging see that babe, go try that more.
So with these guilty pleasures, I feel like for you to sort of open up and communicate and share them, you've got to make sure that you guys at least have some level of trust.
But even if you do have that degree of trust and something like that happens, I think that is where you call it quits. It doesn't matter like how long. You know, some people, they will be like, invested so many years. You know? But you know, this is something that comes up and you're not expecting. You're like, I told you this in confidence. Why? I think that's a relationship breaker too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for me, as an individual, I can tell you that's maybe the reason why I am actually the host here is because I always like to say that I'm very like sexually liberated. Like as I said, I'm a trisexual. I don't try. You know, I like that word. Like I'm very like open to, you know,
exploring
my
things,
kinks, my guilty pleasures. I know what my guilty pleasures are. I know what I like. But I know for one, I'm the kind of person that I'm very, very like, I'm proud of what I like. Like, it's really not all that bad. And if you think it is that bad, that's on you. Like,
you've got to that I don't care stage.
Yes, exactly. But not everyone has. What steps do you think an individual should sort of go through at least just to be able to own their kink
and be comfortable with it
and be comfortable and feel like yes, they are having a fulfilled sex life?
A person has to have a really thick skin because, like I said, talking with your friends now, you have to know what kind of friends you have as well for you to tell them, I like this or this one. You know something. There's no how that sex will come up with your friends because you know now. Then you know. And if you feel like this person is literally judging you, like,
then you know that friendship is.
That is when you can now back, like, you don't have to completely cut her off, but you know, just take a step back. And then you have to grow a thick skin because you've told her this, she's gonna spread it, or he's gonna spread it, and a lot of people know. So, like I said, now that I don't care. is something that you have to
just build over time.
Yeah.
I agree. To be honest, I think it also has to do with self-confidence. And I feel like it also affects a lot more women. You know, a lot more women
than men
are more likely to not necessarily fulfill these guilty pleasures because they're afraid of what will society say. What will he say? You know,
but then I'm sorry, you can also, I won't say become an advocate, but you know, it's already out there now. You can speak about it and say, you know, this
bring
is something,
awareness.
Yeah, awareness. Like, okay, yes, this is something I like to do. I'm sure you have your own, but you just don't.
You can all just join this.
Yeah, you know,
guilty pleasure.
But then it's also kind of difficult.
Like AA meeting. What's your guilty pleasure this week?
Yeah. But it's also kind of difficult if you don't have that confidence, like you said.
True.
So it's really something you have to build.
It's a journey. I think it's a journey. It's a sort of, you know, you continue to build yourself. Yeah. Build the confidence. Like, build the I don't care.
Yeah.
And
you know, like maybe even in a workplace now, you know, like this person that you think or you feel that they can pick on at the office. You got, you know, become tough because working in the corporate world sometimes is difficult. So you can incorporate that kind of
that sort of ideology
into that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, some of these guilty pleasures, most people would say like, that is a lot. And in most of these cases, like how I use the whole example of, you know, men that are in position of power, but they would end up wearing, I don't know, diapers. A woman who is normally so submissive in her life would now end up being the dominatrix. It's quite interesting how it's always like a contrast.
Yeah,
so doesn't that just go to show that somewhat way everyone actually has a kink or another? Has a guilty
but there are
pleasure
exceptions.
Okay, so what would you say is an exception?
Well, I mean, there would, in this big ass world, there will be people that don't have all those kinks or they are not adventurous.
Okay, so they just like the vanilla sex.
Yeah, but then that whole opposites and contrastes definitely the boku.
Especially in this side of the world.
It's just that you're not really seeing it, but it's there.
It's definitely there.
It's not like, you know, in the Western world where everybody knows, oh yeah, this. You know, this is Africa. You have to...
You know what? Recently, I found out that there are lots of sex parties going on. Like they're like swingers, like a
on
lot
the down
going.
low.
Oh yes, of course on the down low. But in this country, you know, recently I was watching one of the 50 Shades, and I think there was a part where he brought her into like the dungeon for the BDSM.
I think I remember that part.
And I was just saying, can this kind of place exist in Lagos or in Nigeria?
I mean,
I was just thinking, like, will somebody build their house and be like, I'm going to have a sex room? But it will shock you.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
This sex party thing has been going on for quite a while. I think you can also incorporate that with you know, clubs that have strippers too.
Okay.
In the sense that it's like a fantasy. You're seeing a stripper, she's nearly naked.
And you know, most of these strip clubs actually have rooms for all this kinky stuff.
So
guilty pleasure.
They are there. They just have to know
who to talk to.
You know,
how much is
yeah, and I
required.
feel like those things are really. I haven't been to one, but
that's
I
also
feel
a thing
like
with guilty pleasures too. There's this idea that the guiltier the pleasure is, if that's a word, the more money or sort of like investment that you have to make. Like, like to me, I always say it. If you want to do stuff like BDSM, like proper BDSM, that means you have money.
Yeah.
How are you a poor person and you're doing BDSM?
Imagine if you don't have money now and you want to partake in BDSM, what you want to do? The person that you want to hire, or even if you don't have a girlfriend, at least you bring someone. Oh, do you have the money to pay her? Because
or all the people that say, like Mile High Club.
Yeah,
if you don't get money to they travel to, I don't know, Australia or somewhere, so the journey is long. People can have as much.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
at the end of it,
definitely.
most of these guilty pleasures also there's this idea that they do come with some sort of financial backing.
Yeah. Money
Alright.
involved, serious
Okay.
money.
So if I have plenty of money, and I also actually believe that I actually agree with that statement. In all honesty, I feel like you know how they always say when you have a lot of money, and that's when you now start to do some very kinky stuff.
I even thought you were going to say that's when more problems come because
Well,
it's part of
more problems because some people will say guilty pleasures are like in a sense problems in a way, you know. So like I feel like it does happen. So that means we should be looking at all these rich people.
No,
with
my
side
fear.
eye. The richer you are, they feel your guilty pleasure.
My fear for those people that do all those kind of things is lack. Because sometimes they do it with partners that they don't know, probably like a hired escort or something.
Yes,
and it's kind of risky.
It's a risky thing,
Very
and
risky.
it's also that whole I almost got caught. You know, there's that whole idea too. Even just sometimes just picking up a prostitute and even just playing with, not using it like contraception.
I'm sure you've heard stories
protection.
Now. Yeah,
you know, like just that idea is like I had sex with a prostitute and I should have gotten an infection, but I didn't. Or you know that kind of idea. There's that whole almost getting caught, or even just sleeping with someone and your parents or your mom.
Yeah, like especially young kids. Children, I won't say children, but young adults.
Even adults do.
The young adults.
They want to do.
That's beside their mom. No,
because of that whole. Oh my God! There was almost
that's really that's
almost got caught. You know, like and that's like the little guilty pleasure that they have.
You know how young adults now they want to explore, probably from their teens, like 15, 16, you have like one small girlfriend now, you don't have any girlfriends in the house. Mommy is in the parlor.
To be honest, right now at my big age that I am, I don't think I would partake in that type of guilty pleasure. My mother has superhuman hearing, scent, vision, everything. She would just know. She would be like, there's a man here. Where is he?
Your mom is a superhero.
So I don't think that could ever be my guilty pleasure, ever.
Well, I feel like that's just something else though. Why would you want someone to be hearing things? Especially your parents.
Well, you'll be quiet now. That's that whole idea too.
Nah, like, sometimes we get as they do, you know?
True. Now, if you're a screamer, definitely don't try that.
No.
But on that note, I do believe it is time for us to round up. It has been such an interesting conversation.
Love it.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for this episode to come out. Thanks a lot for joining me
welcome.
today. And yes, I shall catch you guys same time next week.